Well, I hopped in my car earlier today and headed to town to get an item or two. And as soon as I left the driveway, in the cornfield next to me, or from the cornfield next to me, out popped a bear, a black bear. I'm pretty sure it was a mum. Pretty sure it was a sow because she hopped out from the corn. This time of the year you often get that because the feed is in the field. You know, they're having a great time. Free food, come down from the hills. We live, what? 300 yards from bear country. Even though we live in a very populated area, the bears are very close to where we are. And in the fall, in the autumn, when the corn is high, they can go into the corn, they can hide, and they can feast. So, I think, yahoo, for those guys. But she crossed, she got on the road, she looked at me, she hesitated, she looked back, she crossed over a ditch and then into the cornfield on the other side of the road and looked back again and just hesitated and waited on the edge of the field. So I'm guessing she had cubs with her. But anyway, I just wanted to let her be on her way, so I passed through and headed to town. Anyway, yeah, it was kind of nice to see. I haven't sort of been around any bear traffic for, well, it's been a number of years now. What, probably 3 years or so. What I'm doing right now, I have my most intense colors here in the sky. The sky is pretty much finished. So I'm taking this dot, this point of light, the most intense, highest value area, and I'm repeating it down below. I'm giving myself an indicated line. Most of which will be removed. But what I have now, when I say indicated line, I mean indicated or suggested line, I have a bit of a vertical, an imaginary vertical line. From this line up here, I'm not changing anything on the rocks. I might even lay a little bit of a highlight here in line with these other dots. A couple of these dots, well, they're not going to stay as dots. They're going to become the center of the highest values that I have in the water, or at the very least adjacent to the center. And they're really just sort of indexing lines for me. The reference points to help me decide how to finish laying in the streaks in the water. I've spent, well, mostly today I've just been working on the water, but you can see on the rocks too I have a little more light and shadow, not a lot of color, but I'm not sure I need to put a lot of color on these rocks. Am I backed up enough for you to even see? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Get myself out of the way here. And change the angle on things so that you can see more clearly. Yeah, they're still harvesting corn. They'll be doing that for the next couple of weeks. I'll zoom in a little more comfortable, or a little more closely than is maybe comfortable, but it's for the sake of illustration. So subliminally, in people's minds, they will connect this. That's a good thing, because when we don't have a lot of strength in the foreground, now this isn't finished, I'm still going to go darker, but I've decided at least so far, not to lay any foreground rocks in here. I'm just going to carry the water down, and I'm going to lay even darker blues, purples down below here to help cradle this scene. So then it becomes very important to have, with this horizontal line, very important, it's very helpful to lay in a vertical line. Okay? To distribute the way that you see the painting. So these dots here, I will, this will be on this bit of wave crest, this will be second to highest value. This will be the highest value. This will be a little lower. This will mostly get rubbed out. But from these points I can take that white and move it away from that point of highest value. As I move it away from that point, I'll be lowering the value just slightly. And yes, I'm using a brush. I'm not going to be using a brush for all of it. I'm just going to cheat a little bit for the sake of illustration. Okay. So that very clearly is the highest intensity. It's directly below that. This one, I'm going to go even higher intensity, but I'm at an awkward angle, so I'm not going to just go ahead with it. I'm going to, when the camera's gone and I'm back to seriously working on this, that's when I'll do it. And I also know that I'm using yellow ochre and a little bit of alizarin crimson and some white right now. Yeah, I'm tempting fate for failure here. I shouldn't be doing this. And still, here I am doing it. Not smart, Phil. Not a smart boy. Actually, I said that was going to be pretty bright. Okay, so it's spread out a little more, but the highest intensity is still more or less in the center. I better stop because I am going to screw this up if I continue. Anyway, hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.